in San Francisco but raised on Black Point in Honolulu after his parents moved to Oahu, John Kelly Jr. bore the mind of his two artist parents. John and his parents were good friends with the Kahanamoku family. Unsatisfied with how the plank surfboards would not hold into the wall of a wave, by 1937 John designed the hot curl surfboard, a board that modified the squared plank design of surfboards of that time by rounding the tail section of the plank. A Kelly finless redwood hot curl board sold for more than $40,000 in one of Randy Rarick's surf auctions. From redwood to balsa, from finless to added skegs, surfboard design flourished through the 1950s. By 1963, in a quest to take more control over the biggest waves at Makaha and Sunset Beach, John Kelly designed and patented a split-hull design surfboard which he called the Hydroplane. I believe his intention was to give the board the speed to paddle into big waves while giving the same board better turning control once on the wave. John was one of those early surfers featured in Bud Brown's early surf films like Gun Ho. John Kelly authored a 300-page book, Surf and Sea, which Matt Warshaw cites as the most comprehensive book on the aspects of surfing ever written up to that time. A Marine Corps medalist for diving exploits after World War II, his history is peppered with the social politics of the early 1960s as a Communist Party member with Pete Seeger, as a co-founder in Hawaii of Save Our Surf after the loss of Garbage Hole Surf Break at the entrance to Ala Moana Harbor, and as a graduate of Juilliard School of Music.
Standing, staring, silently still, waiting, watching.
He advocated Hawaiian sovereignty. John's wife, Marion, was Hawaiian. Through the 1980s, and tirelessly advocated for environmental awareness. I received word that 3 surfboard collectors would be getting together at Inter-Island Surf Shop in Kapahulu to compare their 3 Kelly Hydroplane boards. Greg Louis Kwan, Barry Morrison, and Darren Park were surprised to compare the differences in their boards and to see 3 of the more famous surfboards in surfing history at the same time, same location, 60 years after the original board was designed and patented. Let's join these 3 gentlemen and listen to what they have to say about their boards.
Hi, good morning. This is Greg Louis Kwan. I'm at Barry Morrison's Inter-Island Surf Shop on Kapahulu Avenue in Honolulu, Hawaii. And we're here today to talk about the iconic radical experimental design designed by John Kelly in 1963 for Inter-Island surfboards. We have with us today 3 examples of the John Kelly Hydroplane. A 10-foot 2-inch longboard, a 10-foot 6-inch gun, and an 11-foot gun. And the one that I'm going to show you is one that belongs to me. And this board belonged to a fellow named Carl Rohner from Hilo, Hawaii. And I acquired it about 25 years ago from Carl's cousin, Warren Kernan, also of Hilo. Carl was a big wave surfer. This is one of his surfboards. And he died surfing Sunset Beach on a big day. The only thing they found of him was a bit of his surf shorts. And I've had this board for about 25 years. The John Kelly board was, or design, was so innovative for one main reason. It introduced, to my thinking, although I have a 1960 Greg No with a breakaway edge on the bottom, the idea of a breakaway edge that would reduce the friction in riding a big wave. And John Kelly's hydroplane, particularly the guns, were all about speed and riding in big waves. They're a little bit difficult to surf. When I spoke to Joey Cabell about 20 years ago about whether he ever rode one, he said, yes, they're incredibly fast and they're incredibly well designed, but they're difficult to surf. He said he described it as trying to surf big waves in high heels. and I can understand it because of the scorpion tail. Besides the breakaway edge that's about here and going to the tail, there's what's called a scorpion tail. The scorpion tail was designed for two things. One, to act as kind of like a brake if you wanted to slow down as you're descending the face, or stall. You could step back on the board, and that's what that would do. And then the other really beautiful thing about the John Kelly Hydroplane is that it featured an early high aspect fin that George Greno in later years was credited for inventing. But as Rarick can tell you some stories about the speed fin and his thoughts about who was the first to come up with the longboard speed fin. But that's it for me today. Thank you very much for listening.
My name's Darren Park, and I recently acquired this 11-foot John Kelly Hydro. I've been collecting boards now for about 10 years, and this is always one that has intrigued me for the design aspects. I've had the fortunate opportunities to get to know Mark Fergali and Randy Rarick and a few other guys that have helped guide me and look for boards that are unique in design and aspects. This is the biggest one in the batch at 11 feet, and definitely one that should be ridden and tried out eventually again. Aloha.
Hi, this is Barry Morrison at Enter Island Surf Shop, and we have a collection of some John Kelly Hydros. So this is mine. I picked it up 1985, but my friends rode them at Campbell High School in 63, 64, and later. So I finally got one, and here it is. So John Kelly, exceptional, eccentric philosopher and journalist. Anyway, here it is, and we're happy to have it. It was the first patented surfboard in the world, U.S. and New Zealand, and essentially difficult to ride, but the glide is good, and happy to show them to you. Thank you. Aloha. Bye.
Hi, I'm Steve Holmes. I'm I guess you might say I'm a classic garage shaper. I've never done it commercially, except nowadays maybe Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. So I like to hang out with these surfboard collectors because I can't afford to really do it. I've got one I've collected. In any event, this is probably one of the most interesting shapes. It came out of the early 60s, and definitely a breakaway from conventional shapes. He was trying to achieve something in a surfboard that didn't exist with the conventional shapes, and that was maneuverability and speed all in one board, I believe. And so he created this hydroplane bottom, which you see this edge extending around from the back of the fin and forward. This section here is completely flat from the front of the fin, and then maybe breaking right about the middle of the board towards the nose rocker. Here he kicked out the tail and softened it to act as a brake, I believe. And you know, in looking at these three boards, I was very intrigued with the idea that if he's dropping into a big wave, this probably worked really well. So he wouldn't catch the tail up in the lip. He probably had a good fit right in the top of the lip. And I guess he surfed Sunset Beach a lot, and it's probably worked quite well. Once he got to the bottom, who knows what happened after that. Anyways, I appreciate being here with these three collectors and helping them spend their money on these boards, and I get to enjoy the fruits of their labor and money. Thank you. Aloha.
Well done.
Although the guys didn't mention it, Barry's board was noticeably thinner and had a squared wooden tail block. Greg and Darren's boards had round pin tails.
Hi, I'm Greg Louis-Kwan.
Steve Holmes.
Darren Park.
Barry Morrison,
Aloha.
Aloha.
From Inter Island Surf
Surf
Shop.
Shop. Thank you.
Have you seen the grass has started growing across the way we call Plantation Road? It's a simple, honest life we live out there. No locks on doors, contentment in the air. Have you heard that Maui Pine is closing down? For generations we have stood this ground. Now the owners don't need what our ohana made. Time is marching on, they say. Now how will all our children laugh and play?
What is Kelly Slater's middle name?
Kelly.
You're right. Pick a coin. His first name is Robert.
Robert. Who was Jack Barlow?
I believe he shaped the boards for big winds. That's correct.
Also did in the same way. Side by side in field and cannery. Now a simple life will soon be washed away.